Over the last year, my marriage has started to feel less like a union of love and more like a contractual arrangement. I never pictured us arriving at this point. We were once the couple people admired, the pair everyone assumed would go the distance. But appearances can hide the truth, and behind closed doors, we were slowly coming apart. In the early days, our connection felt alive. We were gentle with each other, always supportive and deeply in tune, both in our emotions and our intimacy. But as time passed, something began to shift. At first, it was hardly noticeable, easy to brush aside. I told myself it was probably work stress, the weight of everyday responsibilities, or just the grind of routine dulling our spark. I decided to give her room, thinking a little space might help her breathe. Instead, the gap between us widened. At night, when I reached for her hand, she would quietly pull away. I planned cozy dinners, spontaneous trips, and small gestures to bring us closer, but there was always some reason they couldn't happen. Whenever I mentioned our fading intimacy, she would tell me she was tired, not in the mood, or simply not feeling like herself. I asked if something had changed between us, but she insisted everything was fine. Over time, those reassurances felt empty, because when the person you love keeps turning away, words lose their warmth. For a while, I wondered if I was the problem. Maybe I wasn't affectionate enough, or maybe I wasn't pulling my weight at home. So I tried harder. I picked up more chores, cooked her favorite meals, and gave her even more space, hoping she might miss me, want me again. But the distance I created didn't pull her closer. It became a wall. She used to look at me like I mattered. Now it was as if I barely existed. Our conversations shrank into short, practical exchanges about bills, chores, and errands. She never truly asked how I was doing. Inside, I was unraveling. I felt unwanted, invisible. And I began to realize that intimacy isn't just about physical touch. It's the emotional closeness that holds two people together. I could feel that bond fraying day by day. I suggested couples therapy, thinking it could help us rebuild, but she brushed it off, saying I was overthinking. That stung. It made me question whether I was too sensitive, too needy. Doubt settled in, and slowly, I began to retreat as well. I stopped reaching for her at night. Stopped leaning in for quiet kisses before sleep. I closed off the part of me that longed for her attention. If she didn't want to give it, I wasn't going to keep asking. Oddly enough, that's when she noticed. She began asking why I seemed distant. At first, I said nothing. I didn't want another argument. But my silence mirrored the same disconnection she had shown me, and she didn't seem to like seeing it reflected back. She started asking for my help again, and for a while, I obliged. But eventually, I stopped automatically saying yes. Not out of spite, but because I finally understood that if my feelings didn't matter to her, I couldn't keep setting mine aside to meet her needs. That wasn't cruelty. It was self-respect. She didn't take it well. She accused me of being cold, selfish, and distant. But I stayed calm and told her the truth. Every time I tried to get close, she turned away. Every time I opened up, she shut down. And now, I was simply giving her the same space she had given me. For once, she didn't argue. She just sat there, quiet. Maybe my words reached her. Maybe she finally saw what I had become, someone who had stopped chasing her love. A few days later, she came to me in tears. She admitted she hadn't realized how closed off she'd been, that she was overwhelmed, possibly depressed, and didn't know how to talk about it. She apologized, saying she had taken me for granted, assuming I'd always be the one keeping us together. I listened, but I didn't rush to forgive. Apologies are easy. Change takes effort. I told her I needed space too, not to punish her, but to figure out whether we could truly rebuild what had been lost. Since then, she's been making small efforts. She booked us a counseling session. She's been more affectionate, even if only in little ways. They're not grand gestures, but they're something. For the first time in a long while, I'm not the only one trying. That matters. I'm not proud that I had to emotionally pull back to reach this point. That's not who I am. But I've learned something important. Love can't survive if it's one-sided. You can't keep pouring yourself into someone who gives nothing in return. We still face hard moments, but at least now we're honest. She's no longer expecting me to carry it all, and I'm no longer giving beyond my limits. We're learning to meet in the middle. I don't know if this will save our marriage or simply make the ending softer if it comes. But I do know this: I won't beg for love, and I won't give from an empty place again.